Yo, what's going on everybody? It's your boy Zen back with another video on the channel, and in today's video, for the past month and a half, I've been doing tons of thinking and potentially researching, but I'll get into that in a second. For the whole first portion of March, I've been occasionally looking back at that feat tier list video that I made a while back, where I talk about and explain the rating for each character's feat in Dead by Daylight, as well as finally getting a job and being busy IRL, but we don't talk about that part. And every time I rewatched it, it just made me want to create something exactly like it. Like, I want to do way more with the Dead by Daylight characters instead of just play as them. And then it finally hit me. Instead of going out of my way to fully remake that female feat tier list video that I made a while back in Dead by Daylight, totally not because it took 8 whole days, I decided to dabble into another silly idea. I wanted to learn and theorize and figure out how sweaty these survivors' feet get in DBD. Now, of course, you might be saying,
but Zenny, it's just a game. They don't get sweaty feet. The developers don't make it like that.
Listen, I know, and I know it's just a game. I know they're fictional characters, and I know they're just pixels, but theorizing and hypothetically thinking here, like, what if they were real? How sweaty would their feet get in the type of footwear that they wear? Trust me when I say I've literally been thinking about this for over a month and a half. Here's how we're gonna do it. For starters, we are first going to look at the character's backstory and read a little bit about them. Doing this first could help us theorize how long they wear their shoes for, or what type of environment they're in, how they're like, and what they wear. You know, minor details like that. We then move on here to theorize how long they wear their footwear for, whatever footwear they're wearing, whether it's by reviewing a cutscene or cutscenes that they're in, plural. Especially since in Dead by Daylight, they don't really give us anything to base off of, so we kind of just have to hypothetically guess. We then dive into when the character takes their shoes off, if they even do. I don't think it's a possibility, because 9 times out of 10, games like these don't really like to show their feet. I mean, Dead by Daylight has more than a few characters that show their feet, but like, it's not consistent, if you know what I mean. Then after that, we then try and theorize how long they keep their shoes off for, again, if they even do. I doubt they even will, considering these games don't like to show their feet as much. And last, but certainly not least, we then try and theorize altogether how sweaty the character's feet are, based off all the theories and assumptions we've made during the video. Now, with all that being said, we're going to go ahead and dive into the first character that is going to be introduced into the series, which is Sable Ward. And before you ask, yes, I do have a list. If you haven't been paying attention to my YouTube posts, I post it all on there. I've been asking you guys a crap ton which characters you guys want to see in order for this series, and on the screen right now is the order that you guys chose, so we're about to get started. Before we do though, if you guys want to quickly take the time to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I know I don't post as often anymore. That's because, like I said before, I've been busy. I have a job now. I've been just doing other stuff, but I plan on getting back to the consistency, so if you guys could do me that huge favor, that would be very much appreciated. I did spend a ridiculous amount of time researching things about the character, looking up the type of shoes they wear, about the material and stuff like that, about the environment. I've had my brain on fumes for over a month and a half for you guys. This video, or this project rather, I'm gonna call it project. This project has been kicking my butt, and I hope you guys truly enjoy it. And I can tell you for sure, this is guaranteed the best way to show me that you guys really appreciate this and support this type of content. Okay, now with all that ranting out of the way, let's get straight into Sable Ward's sweaty and stinky feet. Sable figured she was adopted. Her own parents knew nothing about her. Nobody in Greenville did either. Except of course Michaela. Her and Michaela had been friends since 3rd grade, with Michaela being the only one that stood by her within her darkest times. And speaking of darkest, she embraced that side of her. She loved it. She was a freaky one. Of course, not to me. Sable loved lizards, riding bikes, and dirt clog fights. Her favorite holiday is Halloween, with Michaela being the only one who didn't think she was crazy for dyeing her hair purple once she got to 8th grade. She was starting to fully embrace the dark side in her. She even got her first tattoo when her and Michaela went to the mall together, along with getting her ears pierced. She reveled in the dark side so much because number 1, it partially freaked out her parents, quote unquote, and number 2, she felt like that was who she really was. Sable loved horror movies with tons of gore, relishing it even. Michaela loved horror movies with a bit of comedy, but Sable of course loved her meaner ones. She enjoyed the terror with a lot of adrenaline rush. Now of course Sable has no cutscenes in Dead by Daylight as of now, showing us how long she wears her sneakers or boots for. I mean obviously, but considering her backstory, I am very certain that she prefers to wear only sneakers and boots, and here's why. Given all of her cosmetics that she has in Dead by Daylight right now, she's either wearing sneakers or boots. And in my own opinion, I know this is kind of a hot take, but I don't believe Sable is a goth. And in her bio, it also states that she doesn't like to be labeled as gothic either. Like sure, she touches on it slightly, but purely labeling her as gothic is just purely wrong in my opinion. She just simply has her certain take on her own specific style. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing gothic about it. In fact, I'm gonna be a little bit of a nerd here. Most of the cosmetic pieces she wears are mainly Victorian style anyway. Now based off of what we know about Sable already, she doesn't seem like the type of gal who focuses on her feet so much, but that doesn't mean she doesn't keep her feet and bodily hygiene clean. Me personally, I genuinely believe that Sable does have amazing personal hygiene and strongly makes sure her feet are well kept and in great condition. I mean, that's pretty much self-explanatory because if you look at her in Dead by Daylight, besides her swimsuit cosmetic, there's no dirt spots or nothing in all of her cosmetics. She's very clean. Now, obviously, there's been lots of rumors and controversies about Behavior having one huge foot fetish considering all the feet and barefoot cosmetics that the game has for the survivors already. But as you can clearly see here, Sable doesn't have many at all except for that one. And Sable was supposed to be getting a community skin which also shows her toes and heels, but we're not going to get into that because Behavior still hasn't put it out yet. Now, obviously, I'm saying all this because I genuinely just believe that Sable isn't a foot fetish person. She doesn't seem like it. She doesn't look like it. And to be honest, you can kind of just tell. Sable doesn't really seem like the type to worry or care about any type of fetishes. She likes what she likes and she just does her own unique thing. She may not have a variety of outfits to choose from, but you can just tell she just vibes with whatever she's feeling that day, which is exactly what makes her so gosh darn cute.
Not again.
Obviously, she's not too much into fashion like all these other women out there, which is what makes her unique and different. Shoot, you want fashion? Go to Yunjin. Now back to my original first statement here, I do in fact believe Sable doesn't have a foot fetish and she doesn't really care what type of outfit she got on. She has her own unique style like I mentioned before, and she also always prioritizes sneakers and boots mainly. Now you can obviously, again, tell by just looking at the cosmetics where she only has one that she shows her feet, but the rest of them are a mix of either boots or sneakers. Now this may be a little bit of a hot take here, but I assume Sable's feet do not sweat and stink that much. Besides the fact she wears her boots and sneakers all the time. Practically the only reason why someone would possibly assume that they do is because one of her cosmetics being the whimsical weather outfit, it seems to showcase both of Sable's feet appearing really dirty. Now just to throw an extra assumption out there, I hardly believe it's because of her boots and sneakers being worn all the time and she barely takes them off. And speaking of the swimsuit cosmetic that she has with her being barefoot, I really quickly just want to go in depth about that cosmetic really quick, so bear with me. Its proper given name, Whimsical Weather, comes with a very interesting and unexpected bio which reads, as kids ran by making noise and kicking sand into her towel, Sable rolled her eyes wishing she could be at home alone with her book. The coming storm clouds meant she might just get her wish. Now assuming the weather was becoming stormy while she was on the beach, we could just come to the conclusion that Sable wasn't there for very long because obviously she doesn't want to get rained on. Now more than likely, we can hypothetically assume that Sable of course washed her feet once she got home. Being barefoot on the sand, you don't want all that sand to be stuck on your feet like that. It's disgusting. I do praise Behavior for giving her at least one cosmetic that reveals her feet, like her toes and her soles and stuff, because for us foot fetish lovers, that is like heaven, man. Like, you don't know how bad I wanted this cosmetic in my inventory. And it's funny because I explained this in that feet tier list video too, where I was about to go on my vacation trip for a week, and right on the same day we were about to leave, I literally delayed the trip just to buy the cosmetic, just to know that it's in my inventory, so when I get back from the trip, I can play as Sable as long as I want to see her cute soles, man. It was amazing. Like her toes, bro. Ugh. I've already explained this in the feet tier list video, so I won't explain it all here. That's not what this video is about. But man, like, Sable Ward. Now, those of you guys who know me know that I am an extreme simp for Sable Ward, and when the new bikini outfit came out back in July, I was very, very, very excited to get my hands on it. Just knowing that they made her barefoot. It was bad enough that I liked her when she first came out with the Unknown and how pretty she looked, but then they came out with this outfit and that just solidified my my new main for Dead by Daylight. Now don't get me wrong, I still love Nancy and she's still my first #1 main, but like as in like just normal main, I would go to Sable, and to try hard and like sweat on killers, I would use Nancy, because normally I only use Nancy nowadays to try and save my teammates as best as I can, because normally when I use Nancy, I don't ever touch a gen. I only go for flash or flashbang saves, so I only use Nancy to sweat. But with Sable, I pretty much use her every now and then because she is now my new main because of how beautiful she looks. She's Gotham on me, man. And for those of you who have been playing Dead by Daylight know that every time I see a survivor barefoot or shows their feet, you know I go crazy because I have a foot fetish. You know, I'm not afraid to admit it. I'm not ashamed of it anymore. I used to be back then when people used to always criticize me, but now I don't really care. That's another reason why I'm making this tier list too, because I am not ashamed to admit that I like feet. And I feel like this is also unique to my channel because not everybody talks about feet as much as I do. And then when I look at Sable, gosh, she's so sexy, bro. It's just so hard because whenever I load into a match in DBD, I can't help but stare at her feet, like periodically looking at her feet, especially when she works on a gen and like she kind of bends her foot back. You know how like she kneels to work on the gen? You can see the soles of her feet, bro. Do I have to say anything else? And we're not even including her black toenail polish. Oh my god. See, okay, the thing about me, I'm kind of exposing myself here. The thing about me, I've always been into women that wear black nail polish. I don't know what it is. I just feel like black nail polish makes everyone's toes look amazing. That's just me. I really can't tell you why, and I really can't put my finger on it, but I've always been into black toenails. I'm also into French tips too, but not as much as black toenail. I'm also into white toenail polish and a little bit of burgundy red and a dark blue. But for some reason, black always catches my eye the most. Guess it just makes the toes look super pretty because it's a shade color. It's not really a color, it's a shade. And to me, it just makes Sable Ward's toes look absolutely beautiful. Not even mentioning the entire outfit that she wears on the bikini outfit where she shows a lot of skin and those amazing glasses. And the way she has her hair back too, I love it. It's like pigtails, I love it. And then her hat. The entire outfit just goes along with it. The very first moment I saw it, I was geeking out. Not to mention, this was before I went on vacation. I think it was July 4th we went on vacation, and that's exactly when this skin came out. I literally delayed my trip just to buy this skin before I left. That's how much of a simp I am for Sable's feet. It's actually kind of crazy. I absolutely thank the Lord that they made Sable barefoot, because the moment Sable first came out, at first I didn't really like her, but then I started using her a lot, and then I started to like gain my love for her. Obviously, a foot fetish guy like me was wondering when she was gonna get a barefoot or even a sandal cosmetic skin for her. And it just so happened to be true. My dreams came true. So yeah, after all this, you can pretty much say I'm a simp for Sable's feet, 100%. She is my favorite character in the game right now, besides Nancy, of course, and her feet just makes that love 10 times more stronger. One question I do have for behavior now is, why did they portray her feet to be that dirty though? Is it because of all the debris she had to step on going to the beach with her parents? And talking about the cosmetic now, obviously. Could it be because she didn't wash her feet at the time? Or is it just simply because that's how they decided to make her after she's been taken by the entity? I mean, shoot, for all we know, Sable's feet could have been really clean when she was on the beach or even after, but once she got pulled into the entity's realm, I mean, because think about it, in the entity's realm, there's literally no water. The only water that's physically visible is on Larry's. I think it's just on Larry's. Hypothetically speaking, if it did come from her boots and sneakers because she's been having them on for a good while, I don't believe that's where the dirt came from originally. As I stated earlier, I do strongly believe Sable keeps up with her feet being nice, polished, clean, and in a comfortable state. So there's really no possibility those are from her footwear at all. Could it actually be from the beach she was on with her parents at the time? But that wouldn't make any sense considering it would make her feet sandy, not dirty. Right? If you play as Sable with that cosmetic on, especially if you're working on a gen, being slugged by the killer, or even getting an unhook save, the soles of her feet are 100% visible, and you can see just how much dirt is surrounding her soles and her toes. Now, obviously, the bottom of her toes are more difficult to see at the time, considering if you get slugged, you know, if you're looking at the wrong angle, it cuts off part of her toes from her foot, but you get my point. But yeah, I think that question is going to stay unanswered because I don't even know the answer to that. That's most likely something we're going to have to ask behavior. Okay, now back to my previous point about her feet hardly smelling or sweating at all. I already sort of proved that her feet don't really stink as much. Now I'm going to go over potential conclusions based on if her feet actually sweat or if they don't. But if they do, how? I'll start by saying her feet do in fact sweat considering the types of boots and sneakers that she wears, but it's not enough to make her feet stink with any type of dirt or debris she would have collected if she was barefoot. Fully depending on the type of sneakers she wears, her foot sweat wouldn't make her feet stink. It would most likely be the bacteria buildup if she were to go on without washing her feet or her sneakers. Now let's just keep this little tiny information in our minds that foot sweating very much varies significantly between individuals, with some experiencing excessive amounts of sweat, which for those who don't know is called hyperhidrosis, while others necessarily do not. In the game Dead by Daylight, it is very difficult to figure out whether a survivor has sweaty feet or not, and that's because at the end of the day, it's still a fictional video game. Behavior didn't really add in a feature to where you can distinctively take a survivor's shoe off and just look at their feet to see if it's sweating or not. I mean, to be honest, if a game ever showed that amount of detail where you can actually take someone's shoe off to see if their feet are sweaty or stinky or not, I will forever play that game and never stop. Or of course, one day someone makes a mod about it in Dead by Daylight, but the thing is, Dead by Daylight made it to where you can't even use mods in it anymore, so that's kind of useless. But based on a lot of research, reading, and everything we know about Sable so far, we can already sort of figure that out. Within all of Sable's cosmetics, she has one pair of sneakers made strictly out of pleather, aka plastic leather. Two of her boots consist of actual leather. She has Converse boots with socks that are potentially cotton, which also has holes in them and will be less likely for her feet to actually sweat as much. And lastly, suede boots, which they do have fur in them, might I add, which means her feet will most likely struggle to breathe because leather, if any of you guys don't know, holds in lots of heat and moisture. The rubber part of her sneakers, which is where her toes lie, is guaranteed the worst part about the type of sneakers she wears. Talking about her Converse sneakers now. The rubber part of her Converse sneakers stops her toes from getting any air to breathe consistently, meaning the more she wears them, the more her toes will sweat and not her entire foot in general. Which sounds like heaven to your foot fetish lover boy. I mean, to be fair, sweaty toes, just imagine. So, what did we learn here today? What did we gather from all these theories and information? Well, we can confidently confirm that Sable's feet sweat for sure, but they do not stink as much as you think, which is utterly fantastic for us considering that's what we were trying to theoretically figure out for this video. And for the finalization for the sweaty feet rating for Sable's pretty and gorgeous feet, I'm going to give her sexy feet a 4 out of 10 for sweaty, but not stinky. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed what you saw, consider pressing that subscribe button because we are almost at 1,000 subscribers. So do your boy a solid and hit that subscribe button, as well as that like button on this video to let a brother know that you enjoyed it. And of course, never forget to press on that notification bell as well to never miss an upload from me. In all seriousness though, guys, if you guys did enjoy this video, there are plenty more characters I have to go through. So trust me, you guys are going to get more. I promise. And with all that being said, I will see you lovelies in another video. Have a good one and take care.